Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm one of the physiotherapists at Total Therapy Studios. I wanted to speak to you today about something that affects a large percentage of us, especially people who are suffering from chronic pain. So when we talk about chronic pain, we're thinking about people who've been experiencing pain for sort of longer than 3 to 6 months, really. This can be anywhere in the body. It can be in your fingers, in your neck, in your back, in your toes, in your stomach. Any kinds of pain that's for a prolonged length of time is sort of applicable to the discussion that I've got today. So I wanted to talk about something we like to term as overactivity, underactivity cycling. So what this looks like is we try to cram in everything to achieve as much as we possibly can. And that normally comes at the start of a day where we're feeling quite well, or we're having a good day, or we just have loads that we want to achieve. So what we will do as humans, it sort of tends to be in our nature, is try to push and achieve as much as we possibly can, even if that means we get a fallout later on. And that fallout could be in the afternoon, it could be the next day, it could be in the middle of the night. And what I'm talking about with regards to a fallout is an increase in the pain and the discomfort that we're feeling, which then leads to the underactivity part of the cycle, where we are unable to achieve anything. Our mood decreases because we feel so uncomfortable. We sometimes resort to returning to bed. We increase the amount of painkillers that we have to rely on to try and struggle through. So what that leads to is then a feeling of inadequacy in some cases, which is understandable because you're not able to do what you wanted to do, even though we achieved the goal that we set for ourselves. And then we go through, after not being able to do very much because of the discomfort that we're feeling, we then go through a big push again to try and do as much as we can when we start to feel better, to try and make ourselves feel a bit better, which I can only imagine at the moment is sort of exacerbated just because of the situation that so many of us are in. And then we go through the same cycle again, and it repeats and it repeats and it repeats. This doing too much, then feeling really bad, decreasing the amount that we're doing because of the amount of pain or fatigue that we're feeling, and then again trying to do too much to make up for this, and it just is a never-ending cycle. So I wanted to talk to people today about trying to break this cycle, because some of us, not all of us, but some of us have got a little bit more time on our hands, is actually trying to change our behaviours, which is such a massive thing to do. It seems like the world's easiest thing when we look at it on paper, but actually there's a whole load of reasons why we push ourselves more than we should. And those sort of behaviours can be really difficult to break. So what we know is that trying to do slightly less in little bite-sized pieces actually can help our body to manage a lot better. And what we're looking at doing is trying to find ways that we can help ourselves with that. So we talk about pacing a lot, and it's not just pacing, because I always think when I'm talking about pacing, I think about marathon runners and long distance runners and cyclists and people that try and pace themselves. And it is actually a similar process. It's trying to not push yourself too much too soon and to break things down. So what I would suggest, thinking about sort of breaking this cycle, is trying to look at what you would like to achieve in the day. So writing yourself a list to start with and finding out whether you think that's actually achievable, and whether some of it can be done tomorrow and whether some of it just isn't that important. So looking at your list and breaking those down into smaller sections. So for example, if I decided one day that I wanted to get the car clean, so I wanted to clean the car inside and outside, So I have some options. I can try and do it all in the morning, tire myself out, increase my levels of pain, increase the amount that I need to rely on medication, and then probably spend the afternoon not doing very much. Or I can try and break it down into sections. So it might be a case of shampooing the car first, cleaning it, leaving the sort of waxing until a bit later on. So coming inside, I know waxing, I've never waxed my car, but if that was something that you wanted to do, coming inside, having a cup of tea, if you've got children, doing some drawing with the children, if you wanted to watch a little bit of something on telly, sort of breaking it up, the more sedentary sort of activity. If you've got some nice exercises that you like to do, really nice gentle ones, you could do them at this stage. And then after a period of time, and this will vary for everybody, everybody's very different with what they're able to achieve. After a period of time, going back out to look at it, see if you can break it down into smaller sections again. So maybe waxing the car then. If you can, think about whether it's particularly relevant to do it all in one day. You can do it the next day, thinking about doing the maybe alloy wheels or something like that, and kind of coming back to it in smaller stages. The outcome of what we want, or what we would hope would be beneficial, is that you get to the end of the day, you've achieved cleaning your car, but you feel like you haven't given too much all at once, and that you are able to kind of maintain a level playing field with how you're feeling throughout the day, rather than feeling what they're able to achieve. After a period of time, going back out to look at it, see if you can break it down into smaller sections again. So maybe waxing the car then. If you can, think about whether it's particularly relevant to do it all in one day. You can do it the next day, thinking about doing the maybe alloy wheels or something like that, and kind of coming back to it in smaller stages. The outcome of what we want, or what we would hope would be beneficial, is that you get to the end of the day, you've achieved cleaning your car, but you feel like you haven't given too much all at once, and that you are able to kind of maintain a level playing field with how you're feeling throughout the day, rather than feeling like you've got spikes, sort of peaks and troughs throughout the day with how you're managing things. So it sounds like a very simple thing to do, and I can probably talk about this for a lot longer and in a lot more depth, but I'm sure it would make people want to switch off, so I'm trying to keep it as brief as I can and introduce some ideas to you. So what I would suggest is writing up that list, breaking down the things that you're doing and trying to space them out throughout the day, and actually feeling the benefit from doing this. So feeling like you get to the end of the day and you still have a little bit left in the tank. And then I think what would be a good idea is maybe try this for a couple of days and kind of make sure you reflect to look back on how it went, how you managed, how you feel, because that's also a really good tool at trying to break those behaviours that we all do, trying to look at why we're breaking those, why we're doing those behaviours, and trying to sort of tap into a more effective and efficient way of being, really. So homework, try that, see how you get on. Please feed back to us. Let me know how you got on with sort of pacing the daily activities, and what sort of things you had to break down, and how inventive you were with breaking those down into smaller chunks. And if you wanted any more information on this, or you wanted to talk to me about sort of setting more specific goals for yourself, trying to work out a little bit more of a formal way of pacing, please do get in touch with the clinic, and we can look at one-to-one sessions, all those sorts of things. So that's me for today, and I hope to be doing a few more of these on a couple of different topics. So let me know any feedback, and hope you enjoy some lovely weather that we've been having, even if we are sort of not able to get outside as much as we'd like to at the moment. All right, thank you very much.